management in New Paltz, and talking again about the seeker process and how it was helpful to that community.
Is this on now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you a somewhat different perspective on the significance of seeker, based primarily on the New Paltz experience. The declared purpose of seeker is to set up a serious scientific research project, subject to ongoing intensive peer review by the public and official agencies. The seeker regulations, however, cause EISs to be based on developer assertions and documents, however amended as the process goes on, until the official lead agency signs off on the final EIS. This means that developers typically will seek to minimize acknowledging potential negative environmental impacts in order to minimize the cost and time involved in research and analysis and potential complications from new revelations. They will also seek to minimize the extent of mitigations needed. As the process goes on, developers typically continue a defensive posture to avoid further cost and time. This common pattern was exemplified in the experience of New Paltz with a proposed retail megamall in the mid-1990s. The project application was brought in 1993 and eventually turned down by the town planning board on seeker grounds in 1996. There were three major issue realms at stake. The first concerned community character, which in this case included the effects on the existing retail sector, on fiscal balance, and on local jobs. In fact, the EIS for this project never publicly acknowledged that Walmart was the anchor store, though they did do it privately in speaking to a particular retail owner who was interested in moving into the new megamall if it was approved. We insisted, as part of the seeker process, that the Walmart worst case analysis be used in the EIS, and to make the analysis more fair and accurate. By doing this, we proved that 21% of local retailers would be gone within the first year and more later, and that there would be fewer jobs created than actually destroyed by the project. Secondly, the developer never admitted originally their intent to use a major IDA tax abatement. We insisted that the EIS fiscal analysis include that potential, which was later confirmed, for using a pilot program of reduced taxes, as well as insisting that a lower assessment base be put into the formula because of closed retail centers that would result from the megamall. We also insisted that the cost for required roadway improvements should be included in the fiscal analysis because that was an expected outcome as well of the megamall. And all these together would cause a negative instead of positive fiscal impact. Traffic was another issue. First of all, the EIS submitted some false data. For example, they insisted that a road nearby the project was actually wider than it really was, and so therefore they were minimizing the potential danger of congestion. Secondly, they failed to use accumulative traffic data from other nearby potential uses, and thus, again, trying to minimize the serious congestion, likely. Also, when they were looking at particular intersection congestion estimates in the area of the proposed megamall, they averaged all the lanes together in each intersection instead of analyzing the particular congestion difficulties on a lane-by-lane basis, which was very important because, again, it tended to minimize the significance. The end result of our critique was that traffic congestion is going to be too much. A third issue realm concerned wetlands, aquifer, and stormwater runoff. To begin with, they used in the EIS outdated methodology that minimized the pollution danger to wetlands. They ignored the impact on an underlying very important aquifer despite expert testimony that that aquifer existed. And they assured the planning board that the wetland impact could be adequately addressed after seeker through the DEC permit process. Again, we insisted that the danger to wetlands and aquifer was too much to risk. The end result was that the Mega Mall project was turned down by the planning board on seeker grounds because of the analyses and critiques we presented and the inadequate mitigation by the developer in these 3 areas. In fact, the very day after the planning board made its decision, the swing voter, because it was a 4-3 vote, the swing voter on the planning board called up the next day to personally thank us for our seeker analyses, for being so diligent in doing a careful job of scrutinizing the EIS. I should also add that the New Paltz Chamber of Commerce, in the course of the project, was irate at the tax abatement advantage that the Mega Mall developers wanted to give to the new Walmart over the existing retailers. Finally, I would say that people across the political spectrum in New Paltz during and after the seeker process admitted that we were right to engage in the critiques we did because it benefited the community by showing the real dangers of the proposal.